Giving up smoking is the easiest thing in the world. I know because I've done it 1,000 times. That was Mark Twain, I think. I don't know whether he said it or not, but if he said it, it doesn't matter. I understand the sentiment, and I think you get the sentiment as well. If you've ever tried to stop smoking and tried and failed every time, right, you'll get that sentiment, right? Same applies to alcohol as well. You know, I can apply this to my alcohol drinking, although I literally tried hundreds of times to stop smoking, and I failed on every attempt except the last one. I tried many times and I lasted maybe for 2 or 3 days, maybe for a couple of weeks, a couple of months. I think the longest I ever went was almost a year. But there you go. At the end of the day, that's where I got to. I stopped smoking about 15 years ago, stopped drinking about 10 years ago. But I tried many times to stop drinking over that time period. And I just approached it in a different way, in I think a wrong angle. I saw myself as a drinker. I didn't see alcohol as a bad thing necessarily in my life. I understood from an early age that smoking was no good for me, right? You know, like I started smoking fairly early when I was 12, and I was hooked by the time I was 13, all throughout my teenage years. And by the time I got to my 20s, I was completely hooked into it, right? But I didn't see any benefits from it, and I just wanted to stop, but I couldn't stop. And I think the more I tried to stop, the worse it got inside my head, right? The harder it got, because I was building these walls up inside myself, walls which every brick in it was a little bit more doubt that I was adding. So there were bricks of doubt I was adding, and every attempt just put another brick of doubt into that wall. And at the end of the day, it became just such a big thing, a big wall in my life, a big barrier to shift across. And it really literally took a lot of mental shifts before I could finally get past it, right? So with alcohol, because I didn't see alcohol as a wrong thing in my life for many years, because I looked at myself as a drinker, all my attempts to kind of give up were really only attempts at cutting back, at moderation. I saw my behavior as the problem. So I wasn't trying to give up the alcohol so much as I was trying to give up a certain way of behaving, drinking too many drinks at once, right? I thought that if I could just cut down on it, I'd be all right. You know, that never worked for me, because I only drank for the buzz, or to get drunk, or to get smashed, depending on what mood I was in. So the alcohol in my body, my internal defense mechanisms, the tolerance, my dopamine, my serotonin levels, all of these things were transpiring against me, or against that end result that I wanted, to get that buzz. And the more I drank for the buzz, the more I needed to drink to get the buzz, right? So it's a catch-22 situation. And the only time that upward cycle stops is when the damage becomes enough that the cycle can no longer keep up. So, you know, your body can't keep up with that shit. You know, you're drinking so much that your body is just giving in. Your system can't cope with it anymore. So the cycle can no longer keep up. Your filtering organs can't keep up with what you're doing anymore. And then you're literally forced to make changes, right? So once the idea of permanent damage was there at the front of my mind, sitting there, and once it became a reality for me, once that reality hit home for me, once I realized that years have gone by, years have been lost in terms of what I could have been doing instead, the trade-offs. Years of alcohol have gone past my lips. Years of alcohol have done its damage to my body, to my mind, to my life, and I had really no choice but to start looking at the alternatives. So, if you're thinking about moderation, it's a con, right? It's a losing battle. It's the deception that the alcohol companies have been kind of playing on us for years. And above all, it's a deception that we've been playing on ourselves. You know, we love these ideas of responsible drinking, you know, because it makes us feel good about our bad habits. But at the end of the day, there is no such thing. You know, you're irresponsible to be putting this shit into your body in the first place. So then we come to the simplicity of the situation that you're in. Once you're in that situation and you understand that you have to make those changes happen, you've got the simplicity of it, which is you either continue drinking, continue the downward path that continues, and you've got more and more of the same pain, or there's the other side of the coin, which is stop the booze, stop the slide if you can. You're going to stop the slide, you're going to stop the damage. You stop the track that you're on and you start out on a different track. Maybe you start to rise up again, but that's up to you. What you do after you stop drinking alcohol, I think, is the most important thing. You know, that's when, for me, quitting alcohol became the easiest thing in the world, right? I knew that there was only two ways to do this, right? Either stop or don't stop, right? So anyway, I want you to watch this next about the harsh reality of drinking that might help you to motivate you to keep carrying on and stopping. All right, take care of yourself, and I will speak to you again in the next video. Onwards and upwards. Bye now.